listening to Real Guy Radio.
How many pro wrestling news websites do you visit to get your daily news? 3, 4, maybe 5? Do yourself a favor and make that number 1. WrestleChat.net, the only professional wrestling news site that brings you all wrestling news all day long, and is home of the critically acclaimed Still Real to Us podcast, starring former CZW, ROH, and ECW announcer Eric Gargiulo and the champ Jeff Beck. That's WrestleChat.net. WrestleChat, it's where it's at.
It's still
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Still Real Time Show for December 1st, 2011, episode number 94. Welcome. Take a seat. Join us. Let's talk some wrestling for the next hour or so. I am one half of the Wrestling Podcast Tag Team Champions of the World. And joining me this week, back in the saddle once again, and it just so happens, ironic enough, that we have some Hardy news. So I guess he's kind of our Hardy insider. Welcome back, the one and only Captain Obvious. Captain, how are you, my man?
I'm doing really well. The leader of the Redneck Revolution back on the air just in time for some white trash Matt Hardy news.
Yeah, it's been a while since we all last joined here, Captain. It's been a while, maybe a good month or so that you've been on the show. Last week's show, we had our favorite feuds, Eric and I, Thanksgiving. Obviously, that was pre-recorded. That was pre-Survivor Series, pre-Matt Hardy going back into jail, pre-R-Truth suspended. A ton of stuff to discuss here on this week's show. And more importantly, you're going to have to tune in at halfway point of this show when we do our plugs and stuff, as I will make a huge announcement regarding our 100th episode. You're not going to want to miss it. It involves you, the listener, and it's something that you definitely will not want to miss, as we're going to be having a very special show on our 100th episode, as well as the upcoming holiday schedule we'll be discussing right around the halfway point of this show. Intermission, you might say. But, Captain, we are back. Still Real Does show. No favorite feuds to discuss. Thanksgiving is over. Hope it was great for everybody out there. Hope it was great for you as well, Captain. I know mine was great. Green Bay won. Ton of stuff to talk about. I guess we could do this kind of in chronological order a bit. I don't know. I'm hoping some wrestling fans wanted to know what it was like for me to be live at Survivor Series. Did you get a chance to watch the pay-per-view, Captain?
No, I was at work. I couldn't get off, and it was just the worst timing in the world. But I was heartbroken to see what happened and not actually be able to see it live. So to be there in person has got to be just a great experience.
It was pretty cool, and I told a lot of people because, you know, a lot of my friends, and I think a lot of us that listen to this show can, unless you have wrestling fan friends, can attest to this. You get your balls busted still for watching wrestling. You know, do you know it's fake? Yes, I know it's fake. I do a show called the Still Real to Us show, but I still enjoy it. And the economy hasn't been too kind to myself, a lot of us that listen to the show, so I kind of keep an eye on how I spend my money. And I always said that I would go to a WWE show when The Rock returned, MSG, if it was something like that. Maybe I live, in the metro area, maybe Bridgeport, not too far from me, maybe the Continental Airlines Arena. I think it's something else now over there in East Rutherford, MSG, of course. And when I heard that tickets were going to go on sale, Survivor Series September, Rock was going to wrestle I couldn't miss it for the world. I was there live. I was there, to put it into perspective, where I was sitting, for all the fans out there. One, you could take a look at a picture that I believe WrestleChat Brett put up at WrestleChat.net. But I was sitting right by the stage. And to narrow it down even more, when CM Punk won the WWE Championship, and before he exited into the entranceway in the backstage area, and he went up to a group of fans in the corner, that's exactly where I was sitting, straight ahead. Me personally, I could tell you that CM Punk was looking right at me. Everything that he did was directly to me, because that's how our warped wrestling fan minds work. But that's where I was sitting, for all you wrestling fans that wanted to know specifics of where I was literally maybe just a couple rows, 3, 4, 5, of where CM Punk did that whole tribute to the fans there before he left the final go-around there when he won the championship. Live was amazing. The crowd was hot. You know, people, I'm a New Yorker, obviously. For anybody who wants to bash New York and say Philly is the best wrestling fans, Boston's the best wrestling fans, maybe Chicago, you know, hold true to that stature. But I was there, and MSG, New York fans, they just love wrestling. They love what's going on. I know a lot of people commented on the crowd chants, from Randy Savage to We Want Ryder. People were just happy to be there. They were loving the show, excited for The Rock, excited to see Zack Ryder, excited to see CM Punk. It was one of the best live shows I've ever seen. You know, mat wrestling wasn't the best ever, granted, but it was pretty cool. The Sin Cara stuff, I watched that from my seat just to see what the refs and stuff were doing, and you could tell it was serious from my point of view. The place blew up when CM Punk won. And I think more importantly, the place went more crazy when, you know, he celebrated the way he did. And Captain, did you get a chance to see the way Captain that CM Punk celebrated his championship win?
Yeah, I caught a lot of the videos for that from YouTube, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful thing to see somebody act. The one thing we talk about CM Punk all the time is how appreciative he is of the business and how passionate he is, and to see, you know, really the first chance of him to actually show his, you know, heartfelt appreciation for the fans. It was just a wonderful thing to see.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where most of the crowd is still WWE fans, and they're not too aware of everything wrestling. But I think a good portion of MSG was aware, and for CM Punk to win in MSG, and it wasn't that long ago, a couple years ago, that he was wrestling in the Manhattan Center for Ring of Honor, and here he is. Wrestling in the shadows of MSG and now wrestling in MSG, winning the championship. I believe I saw that it was the 4th time that someone has won the world championship since like '84. So I think that I could think off the top of my head like Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart. I know for sure WrestleMania 10. Big Show won it in 2002. WWE Championship match at WrestleMania 21. Who was? Guerrero retained. So you can't say that. World Heavyweight Championship changed hands at WrestleMania 20, WrestleMania 20, to the guy that we can't name anymore, named Chris Benoit. Oops. And here you go, CM Punk winning the WWE Championship. That was pretty cool. The Rock being there wrestling, and I think more importantly, the fans were excited to see him, but they were more interested to see how he would wrestle. And Captain, I don't know if you saw the match. Obviously, I did, being there. The dude still has it, and he proved why he is one of the best in-ring wrestlers from his generation, and I'm really pumped for any other upcoming matches The Rock may have in the WWE ring. I mean, I was surprised to see how well he was wrestling. When you got a chance to finally see it, how surprised were you?
I was a little surprised. I mean, he had a lot, there's a lot of ring rust that builds up, but you could see he's always had that natural ability to put on a good match. It was a much better appearance now than the last one I remember, which was him and Mick Foley, the Evolution match. He didn't look that well in the ring that time, but he knows WrestleMania is going to be a huge thing, and everybody's going to be watching. And this was just a precursor, and he had to bring his A game. And I hope a lot of the guys in the back who are in their early 20s, who may not have had a chance to see The Rock in the ring, really paid attention to that match and saw a guy who is a complete package of a wrestler who can bring it literally every single way a wrestler needs to bring it to draw an audience in. Yeah,
he was amazing. I mean, from the mic, he had the crowd in the palm of his hands, no doubt about it. The ring still has it, and he was always a great wrestler. A lot of people talk about his promos, but his in-ring work is just amazing. I mean, he's a very good athlete, and still could put together a good match. I think I was really shocked, though, that the Awesome Truth did not win the match itself. I really thought there was going to be something there to put those guys over. And obviously we'd find out the night after Survivor Series that there was bigger plans for the Awesome Truth.